Welcome to Bourbon Sauce. Today's episode is called Summer Sippin'. In today's episode, we're going to talk summer and what we love most about it. We have Ryan and myself, Dan. Grab your favorite bourbon and join us for the show. Before we get started, Ryan, which bourbon are you sipping on today?
Excuse me. So, Dan, I went with a bourbon called Old Scout, and it's distilled up in Indiana. It's just a straight bourbon. It's pretty good. Run you about $30-ish, give or take. But it seems to be a fairly up-and-coming bourbon, and not too bad for the price. Fairly smooth, got a little bite at the end, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. And
what about you?
in the nature of summer things that we love, since I love the Creek, I went with Knob Creek 18-year.
Yeah, I was going to say, not just Knob Creek 18-year.
Yeah. It's got a bougie-ass encasement. And I forget how much that one cost, but I know it was over $100.
I think it was right around $150.
Yeah, but we found that one when we were back at the property.
Yep.
And it seemed like a better price than what we've been able to find here in the Clarksville area. So went ahead and grabbed it. And it's got a pretty good flavor profile to it. It's pretty much on line with all the other Knob Creeks. It's just a little bit more smoky in comparison to some of the other ones, I think. But I like it. It's good. And in the nature of things, let's talk about what we love about summer.
Well, so for me, the reason I picked Old Scout is because during the summer, usually I would ride my horse Scout.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about, riding in a Scout with the top off. But either way, you're riding on a Scout that's got no top.
Right?
So, I mean, it kind of works out.
Yeah, so I used to spend a lot of my summertime get on the horse, ride through the woods, ride trails.
Yep.
Get back. It would be dark. Nobody cared where you were as long as, you were back at a decent time after dark.
Well, I think that was something else growing up that these kids are deprived of these days is we didn't have to worry about so much kidnapping and human trafficking that's going on these days. So these kids are kind of deprived of all that.
You had to worry about us dead in a ditch somewhere or in a crevasse or a valley because we fell off a hillside and broke our neck.
Yeah. I just remember, my summers were pretty much consisting of me taking my bike and riding it somewhere in some creek or pond, meeting up with friends. And then that was pretty much where you spent the entirety of your day.
Yeah.
And then, like right now, I've got my son for the summer. So we're doing all the things that I like doing, and he seems to enjoy it too. So, going to the creek and riding around with the top off on the Jeep and taking him in the side-by-side and, just normal summer stuff,
Right.
One thing that he doesn't have this year that we normally do is a slip and slide, Like, I think that's something as an adult that seems a bit more dangerous to do than when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer fact that you can get injured a lot easier now as an adult.
Not just that, as adults, we tend to go that extra mile and put the dial soap on it and make it really slippery.
Yeah.
So you get good speed.
Right, yeah. So I think now as an adult, thinking of all the summer events that I used to partake in, I'm like, man, I don't know if I would necessarily want to do some of those things anymore as an adult, but I do miss the thrill of summer coming, not just a girl, but, the time of year.
Oh, you knew a girl named Summer?
I did know a girl
Nice.
named Summer. Yeah, and she came every time, right around summer. But
I knew a girl named Winter.
I just remember, like, my kid, summertime comes around and you're super excited because you're about to have 3 months of nothing to worry about.
Right.
And you got downtime to do whatever it is that you want to do. For me, that just meant going to the public pool, going to parks, going to, events or whatever. As an adult, I look forward to summer because short skirts, sitting out on patios, rooftop bars.
Don't forget the Daisy Dukes.
Well, yeah, but I think there's something better about short skirt girls because, when they lean forward, they're showing you all the goodies.
Yeah.
And the cleavage part, that you get.
The little spaghetti tops.
Yeah, I think those are a lot more inviting than Daisy Dukes to me. A little easier access for.
I mean, I can understand it from that perspective.
Yeah,
But there's just something about a pair of Daisy Dukes and the way they cup the butt.
Yeah, no. If it's a nice tush, yeah, it looks really good. But summer. I also equate it to like baseball and concerts,
Right.
and not so much, and fireworks because 4th of July. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So for me, now as an adult, those are the things I kind of look forward to in summertime, which are, I think, a little bit different than when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, like for me as a kid growing up, like I would go and spend half the summer at my dad's.
Yeah.
And I can remember being up in Woodbridge, Virginia, and he would take, and we would go take the BMX bike I had.
Mhm.
And there was this, I guess you would call it a park, but really it wasn't a park
Mm.
because you're talking, it was more like a abandoned construction zone, I would guess.
Yeah.
But it had all like the neighborhood kids would come out and ride their bikes, had big tiles that you could ride through, ride up and down hills and jumps and stuff. So we would go at least 2 or 3 times a week while I was up there of the evening, go ride the bike over and do the jumps and stuff. And then as I got a little older and then he PCS'd around, he ended up at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and I would go spend the summer, and I can't tell you how many times we ended up at Busch Gardens up there in Williamsburg.
Oh yeah, that's a great place.
And
that was before I went to Six Flags, I think. Before Six Flags bought out all those amusement parks.
They bought them from Anheuser-Busch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they bought Busch Gardens. I think Busch Gardens was bought up by like a conglomerate.
Interesting.
I think they kept the name, but I think it's now like Busch Gardens, Six Flags amusement park or whatever. However, it's, we have to double check that. But
interesting.
Fact check me.
So, anyways, we would go, and the only thing we did was ride the roller coasters.
Oh yeah.
And you're figuring what? Apollo's Chariot, Loch Ness, Big Bad Wolf.
They had the Batman.
Not at the one in Williamsburg. They had nope.
I remember the Big Bad Wolf.
So in Williamsburg, Virginia, they had Apollo's Chariot.
Yeah.
Loch Ness.
Mm-hmm.
They had Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
And they had Alpengeist. They only had 4 roller coasters.
I could have remembered.
Now, one of them could have been named something before.
Yeah, or later.
Because now they've actually changed the names. Like the Big Bad Wolf is no longer the Big Bad Wolf. It's something else.
Yeah.
But we would go multiple times. And then I can remember every summer of the evenings, at least a couple times a week, having to go watch him play softball.
Yeah, because that's near the naval base there.
Near Norfolk, near Langley, all of it. Yeah.
Because I remember going to that because my aunt was stationed there in Norfolk. And when we'd go see her for summer, that's where we would always go, is the Busch Gardens, because it was close. Besides going to the beach, and then her taking me to the naval yard and showing me all the big boats or ships or whatever. I don't want to offend any Navy people out there and call it a boat when it's actually a ship. But
yeah, no, Army has boats, Navy has ships.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and carriers and whatever. But
right. So, and then I can remember the difference of that, right? That type of summer.
Yeah.
You go to the movies, you go to concerts, stuff like
drive-in
that, right?
movies.
Right. And no, regular movies.
Oh.
Theaters when I would go visit with Dad, right?
Oh, okay.
But then the other side of that coin is when I was home during the summer, it's in the woods with cousins, or it's riding a horse, or you're damming up the creek to make a little swim hole.
Yeah.
Right? You're constantly just out, or you're fishing, all kinds of stuff, mushroom hunting, all this stuff.
Yeah, I know you enjoy fishing a whole lot more than I do.
Oh, I love it.
So I know that this is like your favorite time. Well, besides like fall when you like to do fishing and stuff.
Right.
Just because you can go out early on a boat and hang out there. It's not my thing, but I know a lot of people, they enjoy it. There's a couple guys I work with, they truly enjoy going fishing early on in the day.
Well, people tend to think fishing is lazy when in reality there's so much intricacy that goes into it.
Well, yeah, and this is that one video clip that we saw of that guy talking about how he loves fishing because every time he goes out, he never knows. It's
right. Am I in the right spot?
Yeah.
Or would that spot be better? Should I cast over here? Should I cast further out?
Yeah.
Should I throw a spinner bait? Should I throw a plug, a hula popper? There are so many little decisions to make.
Right.
And even like the cut right down to the color of the bait.
Yep. And type of bait.
Yeah.
I mean, are you
Type of
using
bait,
stink
color of
bait?
the bait,
You
yeah.
using, you know what I mean, live bait? You use,
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a shit ton of factors of what goes fishing, which we could do a whole damn episode just on that.
Mm-hmm.
But amusement parks is a big thing about summer. You know, a lot of people
And water parks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your sister just took her kids to the water park there in Pigeon Forge.
Yep.
That huge one. I've been meaning to take Zach there because it looks like a good ass time.
It's those. I love going to
I love
stuff
water
like
parks,
that.
man. Water parks are the best, especially even as an adult. I think water parks are great because you have all the water slides that you can go down, and then they've got those ones where the floor falls out from underneath you,
Yep.
and you just go careening through all these tubes.
Water parks, amusement parks, and zoos. I'm zoo obsessed.
Don't like zoos in the summer, and this is the only reason why I don't like zoos in the summer is because when it's too hot, they put the animals away.
Well, that's
so you're wandering around and you're looking at all these empty habitats, and you're like, all right, well, where the fuck is the lions? Okay, well, where are all the monkeys? Okay, well, where are the elephants? And it's like, well, it's too damn hot. I'm like, aren't they from fucking Africa where they're used to being hot as shit? Like, why are you putting these animals away? I don't understand it.
PETA.
I guess.
Animal rights.
But it doesn't make any, like penguins. Okay, I get it. It's too fucking hot for a penguin. They're supposed to be from Antarctica.
Right.
Or the Arctic Circle or wherever. Like, I get it. For them, it makes sense to put them away.
Right. But I'm an animal from the Sahara, and I've got to be in air conditioning.
Yeah. Like the flamingos.
You know.
I'm like, where are the flamingos? They're inside. Why? This is where they love this shit. You know? Zoos frustrate me in the summer just for that. It's just like, all right, I paid $30 to come and look at the animals, and half of them are put away. Can I pay $15 in since I only got to see half the animals? No. No. You got to pay full price. The tickets, though, for amusement parks right now, they're super expensive.
Tickets for everything right now are super expensive.
I just don't know how.
Have you seen how much a Taylor Swift ticket costs?
I don't even want to
even
think
for
about
the
it.
nosebleeds.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had one Taylor Swift ticket right now, wouldn't matter where it was, and was live on the radio and offered, you know, we're gonna hold a backyard brawl at this time at this location,
right,
and the winner gets the Taylor Swift ticket, I would have 300 women and teenage girls in line.
I'd go just
to
watch
beat
them
each other's ass over that ticket.
I wouldn't care about seeing T Swift. I'm just gonna watch everyone maul each other for those tickets.
Right. But
yeah. That would be a better event to watch.
They would be there 100%.
I do think that live concerts outdoors during summer is a good time, as long as you have a place where you can get in the shade to have some reprieve from the sun beating down on you.
First major concert you ever went to?
So I didn't go to concerts a lot until I was an adult. Like, really,
That's fine.
Yeah. And I think the first one I went to was Incubus, and it was there in Raleigh.
Indoor or outdoor?
It was outdoor at the amphitheater there. I forget who else was there and opening for them, but Incubus was one of the first ones I went to. Later, I went to like the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
My first major concert that I went to, my dad took me to see Brooks and Dunn during their Steers and Stripes tour.
Oh, nice!
So I got to see Toby Keith, Montgomery Gentry, Keith Urban, and what's his name, Cletus T, the one that does the parodies. I Can Smell Your Breath. It's gagging me to death.
Yeah. The other big one that I did do was Carolina Country Music Fest. It was a 4-day thing.
Ooh.
That was a blast. I was hammered 90% of it, so I barely remember the songs that came on. I just remember at one point I went full on Viking, going around stealing people's beers and drinking them because I'd just come home from deployment, so I was big, and I had a giant beard.
Yeah.
And so they all assumed like I was a Navy SEAL or something because obviously we're on the coast and it's close to Virginia. So they all assumed I came down from Virginia.
Yeah.
So they were not messing with me. They just kind of looked at me and like, oh, shit, this guy's fucking stole my beer. I guess I'll go get another one.
Right.
But
maybe I'll get 2 just in case he comes back.
It's fucking crazy. My buddies were like, Dan, knock it off. I'm like, what? I was like, they're just letting me take them. They're like, you're bullying these people for their beers. I'm like, they could say no. I'll just be like, all right, here's your beer back. Like I was started as a joke, and then
Yeah.
it just led into me being drunk and intoxicated to a point where I just didn't care, and I was like, fuck it. If nobody's gonna say anything, I'm taking free beers.
Fair
But
enough. That is fair enough.
amusement parks, my favorite one growing up is definitely Cedar Point. I was spoiled growing up in Ohio.
Never been.
Oh my god, it's the best place.
I've
I
been
think.
to Kings Island and Kings Dominion.
So I've been to there's an amusement park in Dubai. It's like inside of a mall, kind of weird. Been to
It's Dubai.
the ones in Florida. So I went to Disney, Epcot.
Been to Disney. Never got to go to Epcot. And my one that I really wanted to go to was Universal Studios.
And I did Universal Studios. I also did in California. I went to Disney, and I forget what the other one is. It's out there in the middle of the desert. I've been to the one there in Williamsburg, the Busch Gardens.
Yep.
I've
been to Six Flags.
Six Flags. That's the one that's out there in California. There's a Six Flags in the desert. I went to Six Flags that was in Cincinnati area. There's there used to be, I don't think they have it anymore, but Geauga Lake, which was a giant water park there in Ohio, and SeaWorld. And I think SeaWorld's all around. I think there's no more SeaWorlds because of PETA and all these other, people that are like against having animals in captive and being used for.
I'm pretty sure they even had an accident where one of the killer whales ate one of the.
That's happened a few
trainers,
times where they've hurt the trainers because they're killer whales.
I think one actually killed the trainer though.
It's like you realize that these are naturally feral fucking animals, and you're trying to domesticate them.
So Hawaii has a kind of like a SeaWorld, but it's not, right?
Isn't it like a swimming with dolphins thing though?
They do have that, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay $50 to be molested by a dolphin. Just not going to fucking happen.
Dolphins are big rapers.
Yes, 100%. Yes, they very much enjoy rubbing themselves upon you.
Yeah. They're crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay $50.
People are like, oh, dolphins will save you. They'll rape you first.
They'll save you. They'll save you, but the whole time they're winking at you
and
like,
then they'll toss
you're
your
gonna
body
pay me
around
for later.
like a beach ball.
You're going to pay me later.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to shore, but just before I get you there, we're going to get me there.
Right.
I was disappointed in the actual aquarium in Hawaii. Worst aquarium I've ever been to.
What about?
And you are on an island surrounded by water.
What about swimming with sharks?
So they had the ability while I was out there to actually get in cages. I just never got around to doing it.
I'd be curious to see how that's like.
I'd even signed up to learn scuba diving while I was out there and never got around to doing it.
Oh man, that's another fun activity for summer, is scuba diving. I've done that a couple times in the Caribbean. I've been meaning to get my open water certification. I could do that anywhere, but
a lot of diving in Missouri.
Interesting.
A lot of underwater cave diving.
Because I was saying the caves and quarries
out in the Ozarks.
Yeah,
in the Ozarks.
That makes sense.
Big time.
I also like boating, but I haven't owned a boat.
See, so okay, beach or lake?
Beach like ocean beach or like
yeah, beach or lake?
Are we talking like
We're talking
Atlantic, like, Pacific?
Doesn't
Gulf?
matter. A beach or the lake?
How big is the lake?
Beach or lake? You got to pick one. Let's go with Norris Lake out in eastern Tennessee.
I will go with lake, and this is the only reason why I will say lake.
Mm-hmm.
You are less likely to capsize in a lake from crazy waves and everything else than you would be in an ocean.
Fair enough. And
I think
freshwater instead of saltwater.
Right. The difference there, the only gross thing about the freshwater places is usually when they're murky. A lot of those lakes are murky water.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if you're in Clearwater, Florida, and you're by the coast there, obviously it's clear. And you can see where you're stepping around. Same with the Caribbean.
Right.
I love the Caribbean waters because it's the same thing you can see. And people that are freaked out by things that are touching you underwater and you don't know what it is. Like, I'm not a fan of squishy things under my feet when I'm walking, whether it's in a lake, pond, creek, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I have water shoes now as an adult because I don't like the feeling of gross shit touching my feet.
Yeah.
I don't even like girls touching my feet.
So you don't have a foot fetish?
I absolutely have zero foot fetish. Zero. Like, none. I don't want anything touching mine. I don't want to touch nobody else's. I think feet are gross. They stink. 9 times out of 10, they got problems ingrown toenails or overgrown toenails or just. Eh.
And for all you listeners out there, if you want to see Dan's feet, you can go to OnlyFans/DansFamousFeet.com. And
I swear to God.
you could subscribe for $5.99 a month.
You know what's funny is there probably is somebody that's got that set up, and they're going to look for that, and they're going to find somebody's feet. It's not going to be my feet, but it's going to be somebody named Dan.
I would laugh so
just
hard.
not me.
By the way, if you all do happen to find Dan's famous feet on OnlyFans, you got to let us know.
And share it on our Instagram.
Absolutely.
For us. Or at least comment somewhere that you found it and give us, the lowdown on it. Did you pay for it? Did you like it? Are you into feet? That's a weird segue.
Barbecue is a good one.
Well, yeah, and I was thinking hiking, as we talked about feet, it just made me think of segueing into hiking.
So many waterfalls in Hawaii. There's actually
there's a couple waterfalls around here.
If within about a 3-hour radius,
yeah.
there are a shitload of waterfalls and hikes.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with, he was taking this girl he was dating, and they went on this like waterfall extravaganza. Drove around and found all these different places, and I was like, that was your date? Just looking at waterfalls? That's interesting. Like, did you at least camp? No. We drove out for the day, looked at the waterfall, and came home. Interesting. At least camp out there or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe see if she's got a waterfall.
Yeah.
You never know. I do like
could be a geyser
barbecuing, as you mentioned. I think summertime is a really good time for that, especially because you think summer really kicks off close to Memorial Day, and a lot of people.
Essentially, Memorial Day is what everybody considers kicking off summer,
right? And that's most people open their pools for that weekend.
Yep.
And so you see a lot more people.
That's when the barbecues really get going.
Yeah, they clean out the grills and get it going. They're smoking the meat and everything else, and I kind of did that the weekend prior when I got that small brisket, but I do like to do that, to make the barbecue chicken and stuff. We got to do that we got to do that this weekend. Actually, I'm gonna go buy some chicken and make some barbecue chicken, smoked barbecue chicken. Boy.
Yeah, I need to go buy a Tractor Supply.
Get some more briquettes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cowboy mesquite.
So good. The dogs, on the other hand, do not like summer.
So I will say, with Tank and Roxy, right in Hawaii, those dogs are obsessed with water.
Yeah.
And as salty as the ocean is, obviously, right, they still wanted to get in it, and they still wanted to try and drink it. And you're like, no, you idiot.
You know why it's so salty?
Because you peed in it.
Because all the sperm whales are having sex and ejaculating in it. Big loads, giant loads. So now that you get salt water in your mouth, think about that.
I don't have to, because you just told me that, and you still go to the ocean all the time.
I do like the ocean. Yeah. Not for that reason, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of the salty water.
Okay.
Not a fan of the salty
water.
But
so they love the water, right?
Yeah.
And we have the boat on the property.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot get in the boat if they were outside.
Yeah.
They will literally be in the boat.
You need a pontoon, like a mini pontoon boat, so they can actually get on.
Oh, no, they'll get in the boat and ride.
Yeah.
But I can't do it and them see me
yeah.
because they will make a beeline for that dock. And whether the boat's still at the dock or not, if I'm in it, they're coming out.
That's funny.
And Tank can't swim. He's just too stocky in the front. So he's just like, he kind of does a jump through the water. Roxy swims.
Yeah. I don't know if this idiot Thor can swim very well or not, but I know he likes to be in the water. And he likes to mess around in puddles and stuff. I don't know. I went today to the Dollar General seeing if they had those small pools again.
Yep.
Because I was going to get them for the dogs so they'd have something to splash around. They don't have them. I went and looked. Nobody's got them right now. I think we'd have to go to Dixon.
They had them. They must have sold out.
They had them.
Yeah, they must have sold out.
They were gone. And I asked the lady. She's like, no, we're sold out. And I was like, well, when you get more? She's like, I don't know. Well, that's very specific. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
Right.
But what do you expect these days from?
I try not to expect much when I go to the store.
Speaking of other summer activities, I think being in the creek is definitely becoming our favorite thing around here.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's free and there's less people there than if you go to like a water park or a splash pad or a city pool. First of all, I don't want to be in a city pool with a bunch of kids that are being unruly and their parents
Right.
are, nowhere to be seen, because I used to be that kid. I used to ride my bike to the city pool and have no parental supervision, and I was just jumping off the diving board and acting a complete fool. But in the creek, there's a lot more to do. You can fish while you're there. You can catch crawdads. You can, uh, do pretty much whatever you want. There's no rules. You don't have to worry about anybody saying, "Oh, you can't have open containers. You can't have glass containers. You can't have this. You can't have that." So
I mean, I do try and stay away from the glass containers,
yeah.
but beers and coolers, whatever.
Oh,
just make sure you don't litter and clean up after yourself.
What were you gonna say when we were talking about the difference between lake and ocean, beach and lake? What was your point for that?
I was just asking your preference because,
Oh.
I would rather go to the lake than the beach.
Why?
I just prefer the lake better.
Why?
I can fish, I can relax, I can swim, all the fun things.
And usually at lakes, there's some parts of it have a beach,
Yeah,
or a sandy.
and then there's usually the marinas and stuff that you can go hang out at.
I think that's the better part.
That's and like the sun,
Because
especially
they'll have
in the
live
summer,
music and stuff.
you get live music.
Yeah.
You get the yacht parties going, right?
And especially around here, being close to Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a ton of live music.
Well, like Norris back in Eastern Tennessee is loaded.
And for those of you that listen that are close to the Clarksville area, or even the Dixon area, if you go down into Dixon, 119, they have live music all the time. And it's really good musicians that they're getting. And I don't know where they're finding them. They're probably stealing them from Nashville somewhere, but their musicians are terrific. There's a girl that we know. She plays there, Courtney, and she plays.
I haven't even listened to her.
She's playing the 14th. So she's got a session that's coming up. She'll be on there. But I do think that that's something I'm looking forward to more and more, is the live music aspect when, you're out and about, especially if we ever were to procure a good marina slip with a boat. I think that would be awesome. But you never know. I might get a wild hair and just go buy one of these days.
It's very possible.
It's more likely after my next deployment than anything. I don't think I would do anything too hasty right now. I would have to wait till like next summer.
So, would you rather go to the local pool or jump in a pond?
I'd rather jump in a pond.
Okay. So, would you rather go to a water park or the creek?
Ooh,
and we'll say just your local water park.
Maybe
got one or two slides and a wave pool. And then a crummy, lazy river.
I'd probably still do the creek, because you can do your own lazy river.
Exactly.
In that creek.
And I can take my cooler and I can listen to my music.
Right.
And I don't have 5,000 screaming people running around.
Yeah. And if you have a good crowd with you, that's a good time. Even if it's just a small crew like we usually have, it's pretty good.
I will say, a nice big water park, I'm all down once every now and then.
Yeah,
driving movies every summer. It's a thing.
Yeah, the only downside to drive-in movies is the bugs. If they don't take care and spray their drive-in area for bugs, then you have to bring your own fogger and citronella candles and everything. It's like a whole ass process just to keep the bugs away and at bay. But I do enjoy that, because sometimes summers it's just cool enough. Not so cold where you have to really be bundled up.
Right.
And if you have the chairs and, the cooler and everything else, if they allow you to bring your own cooler. But a lot more of these places now, they're like, no, not allowed. You
it's not like they're checking your vehicle.
Yeah, but I mean, more and more, they are being more strict and saying you need to buy our stuff, which I get, because
you kind of do need to support them.
The concession stands is what really keeps them going, because the tickets to entry fees, it's not much.
No, and you're usually paying for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Some of the places have gotten around to where you're paying for
per people. Yeah. That's kind of shitty, because the per vehicle was a lot better, because you could, if you had a pickup truck, you brought like 10 people with you.
So like in
get
the
around
one
that.
I go to in Franklin, Tennessee during the summer, they do a double movie feature every every night that they're airing. It's a double movie feature, so it's usually a new-ish movie and then a new release movie, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the differences too, though, is like the concessions at the drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking like cheeseburgers, hot dogs, nachos. Like it's like almost going to like a mom and pop fast food kind of thing. You know?
What do you call it? Cheese doesn't belong to you?
I don't know.
Nachos.
Nacho cheese. I should have known that.
Yeah.
But
there's a dad joke for everybody.
We
haven't told any jokes in a while, so I figured we might as well throw one in there.
Archery is another good thing in the summer. Shoot and recurve.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really do a whole lot of that as a kid or even as an adult. I did a little dabbling in it. I more liked going to the gun range.
Yeah.
Just that, you get there early, do your shooting for the day, and then you go and do your drinking afterwards, and then you have a little cookout.
Yeah.
Just kind of make it a whole event. But I don't know. I just don't. Archery is a good thing. I just think there's a whole lot of things you can do in summer that you can't do in the winter and the fall. So that's when I tend to try to maximize my outdoor time.
Well, yeah, nowadays most people are inside with the AC, or they're indoors at a enclosed amusement park like whatever it is here in town, right?
Yeah.
I go spend $50 and I just spent $50 in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, aquariums. I don't know why people like to do that in the summer. I think I'd rather do the indoor stuff when it's shitty out, like.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy aquariums, and I understand why a lot of people do it during the summers, because, I mean, that's when your kids are out of school. That's when you're traveling and whatnot.
Like Gatlinburg, for example, is prime for summertime just because of that. Because everyone's out of school, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do with their kids, and it's a whole ass thing. You stay there for a week. You can either stay in a camper or stay in a cabin or stay in a hotel or whatever you want to do. But the same thing when you go down to Florida and you go to Orlando, you're going to all the resorts there.
Right.
With your kids. People usually do a whole ass week just because, you got to figure out something to keep those kids going for the summer.
I will say I'm obsessed with go-karts. Obsessed.
Go-karts is another good thing
Go-karts
to do.
is yes. I want to go fast. I want to go fast.
The best go-karts that I ever did was when I was on a deployment in Turkey. Those things went like 60 miles an hour, dude. They were insane. Fucking insane. And the guy that was running the place, there was no helmets. You didn't have to wear helmets. You did have to sign a waiver. And the one rule was no bumping, but
no bumping.
Yeah, no bumping. But I was in the military at the time, and all of us were not giving a shit. So
right,
we were NASCARing it up, rubbing is racing, and we were.
If you ain't first, you last.
This was before that came out.
And that's trademark by Ricky Bobby, not to be trademark.
Yeah, that was way before that came out. But
you were Talladega. You were Talladega Nights. You were Days of Thunder.
We were definitely doing.
You were
Days
Tom
of Thunder.
Cruise in it.
Yeah. Feeling the rumble.
Another great thing about summer for me,
NASCAR,
rodeo.
Oh yeah, rodeo's a good one. We didn't go to any yet, but we do. We have
some coming up in Dixon. So I tend to follow around the Lone Star rodeo circuit. So I follow their calendar a lot.
Yeah.
But it's usually a good showing, usually a 2-day event.
Mm.
I mean, you can't really beat it. And it's not like it's outrageously expensive.
No. And that, man, girls that go to rodeos too, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tight jeans. Dukes with the boots.
Rodeo's a big one. And then now you've got all these little music festivals popping up everywhere.
Well, the CMAs was just this last weekend.
I don't even mean the CMAs. I mean all these little fairs. Bluegrass Fest, Bourbon Fest coming up.
Yeah, that's up in Kentucky, yeah. That'll be a good time.
That's not till end of August, beginning of September.
Yeah,
but right at the end of summer. But you have all these different kinds of events going on during the summer.
Yeah. And I know they do a lot of that intentionally because they know people are off, or
Right.
they take time off because it's summertime, and a lot of people take more vacation than any other time of the year,
Right.
other than like Christmas, Thanksgiving. But 4th of July weekend, they know a lot of people will bookend that and take a whole week off.
Oh,
And
yes.
so there's a lot of festivals that are going on. Like right now, I think in Ashland City, they've got a little carnival kind of thing set up. Which is another fun fucking thing in the summer is carnivals, dude.
Well,
You
see,
get funnel cake,
you have carnivals year round.
yeah, but I think in the summer it's just one of those. I remember it being more fun in the summertime, just because you could go multiple times during the week that it's actually set up, versus if you had school going on and it was like you could only hit it for like Friday, Saturday before it closed up. And
See,
it was
so for
gone.
like us, we have the Danger Boom Festival in the first week of October, right?
Yeah, I've never gotten to go because I'm always deployed.
So you do school Monday, Tuesday,
Mhm.
and then usually half day on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then you're out.
Nice. That's not too bad.
They want to make sure you optimize time for the festival and the culture.
You know, another thing that I used to do when I lived in New York in the summertime.
Masturbate.
Well, besides that, wine tours.
I've tried wine,
I
don't care for it.
So I was working in Lockheed Martin at the time, and I was same age as all the other engineers at the time. So we would make this huge group, and we'd get 3 limos, and it would be a mix of girls and guys that would go. And of course, it was always predicated that the women wanted to do this thing, and we were just kind of going because, hey, they get a few bottles of wine in them,
Right.
Hey, somebody's going to be in the limo for a minute while everyone else is tasting wine. Don't go to the limo for right now.
Right.
But, I mean, that was a good-ass time doing that. Because, I mean, we were up there in the Finger Lake region there in New York. And
oh, yeah? The Finger Lick region?
The finger licking.
Yeah.
Finger licking good.
Oh, God, don't sue us, KFC.
But I'm just saying that area, there's a lot of vineyards up there in upstate New York that people would be blown away with how good that wine is. I mean, it's actually really fucking good wine. I think it's better than some of the wine that comes out of California, and because everyone raves about California.
You know what is
vineyards.
apparently is a super good, really up and coming wine?
What?
Purple Toad out of Paducah, Kentucky.
Really?
My dad and them, when they go out that way, he'll buy it by the case.
Interesting. We'll have to try it next time.
Like so many different flavors, so you can get it in just about anywhere now.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to look for that and just try it, just for shits and grins. I really want to crack open this
Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot that I got. It's just because it's basically like a wine.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's like a wine or more like a cider.
I don't know. I got to look up the reviews on it, but it looks like it's gonna be kind of like a cider beer, but it's called a barley wine, which to me, if you say it's a barley wine, it's like I think of I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the fuck that drink is that I've had before. Oh, Bee Nectar, right? So Bee Nectar makes those cider beers, but they have some barley beers and barley wines and different stuff that they make. I'm kind of hoping that this has a similar flavor to it. I mean, it's a mashup from Buffalo Trace Distillery with Sierra Nevada, and E.H. Taylor is the name that goes along with this thing, and it's been aged for 7 years. And this one's a limited release that came out last year.
That is probably the most expensive ale I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. It was, I don't remember.
It cost as much as a bottle of small batch.
But I'm just curious. I'm kind of thinking I might buy another bottle of this.
You know what they say?
Just to not open this one.
Curiosity killed the cat.
I know, but one of these times I'm going to stumble across one of these weird mashups and I'll be like, damn, that's fucking delicious. And this, I think because of it being summertime, being a barley wine style would probably be not so heavy, like I like lighter beers in the summertime, like Summer Shandy by Leinenkugels. Summer Shandy. I think that's a really good one. You're a giant fan.
Twisted Tea, baby.
Fucking Twisted Teas, right?
Twisted Tea, summertime fun.
I like the half and half twisted teas.
I like all the twisted teas, but I'm just saying.
I'm not a fan of the peach one, though.
The peach is, it's okay. The raspberry is amazing, but you only get it in the variety pack.
Yeah, it's just weird to me.
But it's funny how somebody thought, wait a minute, Southerners love sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it into an alcoholic beverage that we can put in a can.
Well, I mean, everyone likes Arnold Palmer's.
And then boom.
You know.
Well, and then there came your half and halves.
Well, and then the Jim Daly version is the one that's got, vodka in it. So.
Yeah, but no thank you to the vodka.
Well, I mean, that's basically what's in a fucking twisted tea is basically.
No.
I don't know what they use to make it.
That's not
alcohol
related.
My
thought process.
I'm pretty sure it's.
I don't taste vodka, and normally if it's got vodka, I can taste it.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I think it's got
bourbon
similar.
And twisted tea. That's my summertime things.
I used to do that.
Year round.
Where I think it was last year I was doing Buffalo Trace and sweet tea.
Yeah.
And Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking dangerous.
Yes.
That is so good. Because first of all, those are two things that I love. Buffalo Trace and sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to be Milo's sweet tea.
Milo's does have good sweet tea.
And that's another good summertime sipping thing is lemonade.
Milo actually has some pretty decent lemonade, too.
Yeah, lemonade and sweet tea are two things that I really love. Like, if I've been doing yard work and I come in and I get a glass of cold-ass iced tea or lemonade.
But any true Southerner knows that for every gallon of sweet tea you make, it's a minimum cup to cup and a half of sugar.
Yeah. That's why everyone's got diabetes.
I'm Walter Brennan, and I have diabetes.
Or they're like 300 pounds because they're drinking all this fucking sweet tea that's got loads of sugar in it.
Arizona sweet tea in a can. Oh,
it's good, but it's not as good as like real homemade sweet tea.
Not at all. But if I want a quick,
in a pinch,
it'll do.
Good. But we went way out on that one. But I think we could revisit this topic.
Yeah, I think we could go down the rabbit hole.
Because there's a lot of things we can actually talk about. We can talk about boating. We can talk about,
we can talk about fishing,
all kinds of shit.
Hit us up on the Q&A and let us know.
Yeah. I think if people would actually start fucking interacting on our Instagram and telling us what they actually want instead of just being cute and commenting, it would go a lot farther than what they're doing currently. And I don't know how to get these people to actually engage because that's frustrating as shit. Is we do all this legwork. We do all this audio, we do all the pictures, we do everything else, but not many people say anything that, like, they're not like, hey, it would be good. There is a guy that you work with who does give us all kinds of feedback, which is great. But that's like 1 out of 100 people that actually says something.
Right.
And it's like, well, does anyone else have an opinion?
They have opinions, they just don't voice them.
Are you afraid that we're going to tell you you're an idiot? Like, what's holding you back? So I would advocate for people to actually start fucking commenting, leaving some sort of feedback on the Q&As that are on Spotify or even Apple. There's a multitude of ways that you can actually let us know you enjoy the content, don't enjoy the content. Tell us if you think it sucks, just tell us, hey, it sucks and this is why.
Right. New topic ideas, come on.
Whatever the fuck.
Or a bourbon we haven't tried yet,
Ooh, that's true too. But I think it's gonna wrap it up for us here at Bourbon Sauced. So thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. The more you like and subscribe and share, the better the chances are we can grow the channel. Also, check out our Instagram page at www.instagram.com/bourbon sauce, where you can see clues on upcoming episodes as well as see photos that pertain to our podcast. And you can message us there and give us feedback and interact with us. Hope you come back. Until next time, enjoy your favorite beverage and get sauced.
Cheers.